Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fill in your eyebrows with a brow pencil. I am going to try to make this video as beginner friendly as possible. Just a disclaimer, the video does kind of have two parts. I'm going to be doing the more beginner friendly eyebrow tutorial, and then I'm going to give you guys a few optional steps towards the end if you want to make your brows look a little bit more dramatic and stand out a little bit more. If you guys want to learn how to fill in your eyebrows, please keep watching. Alright, so when I'm going to fill in my brows, the first thing that I like to do is just brush them up. I'm going to show you guys how I trim them and clean them up a little bit before filling them in. Right, so these are the scissors that I use. These are just standard size eyebrow scissors. Anything that you see kind of sticking out, that's what needs to be trimmed. You don't want to over trim. I personally don't like over trimming because my eyebrows are really thin. If I over trim, I get bald spots, and it's happened many, many times. Just trim the hairs that are sticking up and out so that your brows don't look messy. So the second thing that I do, again, I brush the hairs back up, and then with tweezers, I just trim all the little hairs that are outside of the shape that I want. And this is not like you shaping your brows, this is you just cleaning up your brows. So if you don't already have a shape, you might want to go get them shaped at a salon or something, but my brows already have the shape that I prefer. I'm just cleaning them up because there's like a few stragglers. So I'm going to pluck those stragglers. Always be really careful when you're plucking. You don't want to over pluck. You don't want to make your eyebrows too thin. I literally only pluck the thicker hairs that are sticking out. And then with one of these, I kind of clean up the, kind of like the peach fuzz, because I have a lot of hair around my brows that would take me 3 years to pluck if I decided to pluck them. So this is just to kind of clean up the edges. I would suggest doing this part before you actually start your makeup, because shaving with this just removed some of the foundation that I had on top of my eyebrow. Alright, so now that my brows are slightly cleaned up, they look a little bit better, then I like to go in with a pencil. The pencil that I am going to be using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color medium brown. And then what I like to do is I just like to, again, brush my eyebrows up so that I can see the natural shape and where my hair root is coming from. I just like to draw a straight line following the shape of my brows, but basically just filling in the empty spaces. But you don't want to draw a line all the way straight. You want to make sure that you're doing like feathering motions. So basically, I just start near the front. You see I went all the way in a straight line, but I didn't actually drag the line. I kind of flicked it. That gives you hair-like strokes. So now that I have my line at the bottom, I'm going to brush my eyebrows in place. So then what I like to do is I just like to work from the tail back and kind of, again, fill in my natural shape. How to measure where your eyebrow should end. I always like to extend my tail a little bit more than what it is naturally. If you measure it like this, with a pencil, from your nose to your eyebrow should end like right about there. I know that eyebrows have been really intimidating for the last couple years, especially with the whole Instagram brow thing, but thank God that brows are moving in a more natural direction these days. Because I never had Instagram brows, just saying. Always tried, never could. I never like to do like one entire eyebrow and then move on and do the next one, because I feel like It doesn't really come out symmetrical when you do one eyebrow and then the other. So I like to do one thing here, do the same thing on the other side, and then come back to this side. I like my eyebrows extra long because I'm obsessed with Kim Kardashian's brows. And I know that my eyebrows are nowhere near Kim Kardashian, but I just like love when she like turns to the side and her eyebrow is so like long. So I always extend the tail a little bit longer than I probably should. That's good. All right, so for the front of the brow, this is the more crucial area because this is what makes your brow look like a Sharpie brow or not. This makes it breaks the brow for you. So I just like to brush it upward on both sides, and I put like a lot of pressure on my skin for this part. Like I literally feel it. Like I'm not just brushing the hairs, like I'm getting into the skin and getting into that product. And then I just like to flick up with the pencil, and that's gonna give me hair-like motions there. And you wanna make sure you're blending a lot in the front part of your brow. Alright, so when I'm going for a more natural look, this would be it. Like I would be completely done. I don't like to do the concealer thing all around. I don't think it's really necessary, especially now that people are more into natural brows. But when I am doing like a really dark smoky eye or something like that, I definitely do like to clean up around the brows so that it looks a little bit neater. So I'm gonna go the extra step and show you guys how to do that. So for this, again, you're gonna brush your hairs up. You don't want any of your hairs to get mixed up with the concealer, because when the hair gets in the concealer and you try to brush it out, you kind of stain your brow with the concealer and it just doesn't look the same. I have concealer struggles, clearly. So I put a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape concealer on the back of my hand, and I literally take the smallest amount from the little edge, and you want to use a concealer brush like this. You want to use something that's dense. You see how like I'm pressing it against my skin and it's really not budging? You want to use a brush that's harder on the edges like that, because that's what's going to give you that sharp line. And then I just go like very close to the, okay, my phone is out of control. I just go very close to the brow, but when you're first putting the concealer on, you don't want to be too close to your brows. I like to start like right down here. Just in case you have too much product on the brush, you don't want to get it on the eyebrow. And then I kind of work my way up. So the purpose of this step is to make your eyebrows look cleaner and neater. If you're growing out your brows and you don't want to pluck this area right here, a lot of people use this concealer trick to hide the hairs that are down here. So you could do that for that purpose as well. Another tip, if you are going to do this step, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing your eyebrows before you do your face makeup. I already had face makeup because I was filming this video, and I didn't really plan to do the concealer thing. I'm just putting it in for anyone who wanted to learn how to do it and learn the purpose of it. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing it before you do your foundation, because now I look completely crazy. I have this light ass concealer all over my brows, and then my foundation, it doesn't match my foundation. So that's definitely a mistake that you want to avoid making. So for, again, a more natural look, I would leave my brows just like this and it looks perfectly fine. But when I'm gonna do a darker smoky eye, you definitely want to make sure that you're filling in your eyebrows a little bit darker, so that your brows don't disappear around the rest of your makeup. I take a powder. This is from European Wax Center. This is Tawny and Ebony, and I just dip my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush and I put it like right in the middle. I like to mix up both colors together, tap off the excess. And I just like to go over my tail with this just to darken that area up. And I just like to go over it again with the pencil, just to mix in that darker color with my lighter and make sure that everything blends well. And again, I only do these extra steps when I'm doing like a smoky eye or wearing a lot of eyeshadow. For a regular makeup day, I literally just stop at the brow pencil. And just brush your brows in place. I, to be honest, don't normally use this because my brows, they're pretty good at staying in place. They don't really go anywhere. But if you do have longer brow hairs or wild brow hairs that kind of just like go everywhere, you can use a brow gel to just set everything and make sure that everything stays in place. This is a clear brow gel. I personally prefer to use a clear brow gel because sometimes when you get the tinted ones, they might not match your brow pencil perfectly, and then it's like it's what you're putting on top is the last layer. So if your brow gel doesn't really match your brows, it kind of looks like you have highlights on your brows. So I don't do tinted brow gels unless you're doing it like same brand, same color. Like if you're gonna get the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil in medium brown and then you get the tinted brow gel in medium brown, you know those are the same colors, so that's gonna work. But I don't like mixing brow gels and yeah. All right, and for the front hairs, I just brush them up a little bit just to give it like that feathery look. And that's it. These are my brows. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If anyone has any questions regarding products or anything like that, I will be happy to answer all of your questions in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for upcoming tutorials and beauty videos. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.